Hello, and welcome to Math Class with Mr. Head. Today we're going to be learning about line plots, and line plots specifically with fractional data. A line plot is a graph that helps us see how many data points of certain pieces of information are available. There are several parts of a line plot. There's a title, there's a label, there's a number line, and then there are X's or something to mark or show us how often each value appears in the data set. So let's take a look at a plot line and see if we can fill one out and then answer some questions about it. Elizabeth picked 2.5 pounds of peaches from the peach orchard. Sam picked 3.5 pounds of peaches from the orchard. 5 other students picked 2 pounds of peaches each. So the first thing I want to do is I want us to make a line plot with this information, with this data. And then we're going to use this line plot to help us answer a couple of questions. First thing I want to think about is what should we title this line plot? This is about peaches that were picked. So I'm going to title mine Peaches. Let me get my pen up here. I'm going to title this Peaches Picked. So that's my title. Then I need to think about what data I need to put on this. And I'm going to put how many pounds of peaches were picked. So I'm going to label this as pounds. Put my label down here. And then I need to think about what information I need to put on this line right here. This is a number line. So I need to think about what needs to be the lower value on my number line and what needs to be the upper value. As I look at the data I have here, the smallest piece of data I have is 2 pounds, and the largest I have is 3.5 pounds. So I'm thinking that I'm going to start over here, and I'm going to have my first mark at 2. And since we have whole numbers and then halves, I'm going to go up to 2.5 next. Oops, messed that one up. Let me fix that real quick. Two and a half, then I'm going to go up to 3, and then I'm going to go up to 3.5. Now that I have labeled my number line and I've also put the title and label for my plot line, I need to mark how many pieces of data I have for each set. So I see that Elizabeth picked 2.5 pounds, so I'm going to put an X above the 2.5. I also see that Sam picked 3.5 pounds, so I'm going to put an X above the 3.5. And then finally, there were 5 other students that picked 2 pounds each, so I'm going to put 5 X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 X's above the 2. So now that I've completed my line plot, I can see what I'm talking about here. Peaches picked. I can see how many pounds of peaches were picked. That there were 5 people who picked 2 pounds, 1 person that picked 2.5 pounds, and 1 person that picked 3.5 pounds. So let's look at our questions here. How many people picked peaches from the orchard? Well, if I count the X's, that tells me how many people picked peaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there were 7 people that picked peaches from the orchard. Now, how many pounds of peaches were picked from the orchard? What we're going to do here is we're going to take the information and we're going to add it up. So one of the things that this, working with plot lines that have fractional data, one of the things that's going to do this week is it's going to help us review adding and subtracting and multiplying fractions. So this is going to be good review for us here. Let's go ahead and add this data up. I'm going to change colors of pens here just so you can tell what work I'm doing with this particular problem. So we're going to add up all the data for 2. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that picked 2 pounds. So I'm going to do 5 times 2. That gives me 10 pounds. So those 5 people altogether picked 10 pounds of peaches. Then we have one person that picked 2.5 pounds. And we have one person that picked 3.5 pounds. So now we can add this up. 10 plus 2.5 plus 3.5. So if we go ahead and add up our whole numbers first, 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. And then if we add up our 2 halves here, we'll get 1 whole. So 15 plus 1 equals 16. So there were 16 pounds of peaches picked from the orchard that day. So this is our line plot here. Today on your assignment, you're going to have some data in a table, and you're going to take that data. You need to figure out what that data is about, and that's going to help you to make your title for your line plot. Then you're thinking about what kind of units do they put that data in. That's going to help you label your line plot. Then you're going to look at the data that you have. You want to notice what the lowest point is and what the highest point is, and that's going to help you mark the numbers on your number line. And then you just need to count up that data and place X's over the places on the number line that help you indicate what that data represents. Good luck on this assignment, guys.